Hello, welcome back. In this part, we're going to begin modeling the head. So first thing we're going to do is set up our background images. We don't really need our other ones, so I just deleted that, and I'm going to open. Make sure you go to where you saved your model sheets. I saved them in this folder here. Let's open this up. And so we're going to change this to front, and going to go on the x-axis, make it negative 0.35. On the Y, make it 4.5, and change the size down to 1.1. So now you see it's lined up in the middle, right where the head would be. And for the second background image on the side, and don't forget to change this from all views to front. For this one, make sure you change this to right. Go to Open, Model Sheets, and select the same one. And so you hit the right view, we can see it. So we're going to change the X to 0.5. We're going to change the Y again to 4.5, and the size again to 1.1. And we're going to change that to front. Now we might move it on the X to about 0.4. Let's see what that does. How about 0.45? There we go. That's better. So make sure it's on the X at 0.45. And now that we have our background images, we can get started modeling. So for faces, I like to do plane modeling, which is you basically start with a face, and then you model the main loops, and then you go from there. So let's do that. So I'm going to go to this bottom layer here so that we're not distracted with the body. And I'm going to Shift A, add a plane, tab into edit mode, hit G to grab, bring it up here, scale it down, make sure you're in your pivot point is centered, and I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees on the X negative so that our face is in the front. So yeah, so our face is in the front here. Now, I'm going to bring this down, scale it down. Don't worry about the eyebrow not matching the other side. We'll be fine. The eyes match up, and we'll just do the eyebrows accordingly. So, oops, I accidentally hit it. Alright, so I'm just going to bring this down. Scale your proportional editing way down also. So I'm just going to move this down like that. And we're just going to extrude around the eye. Alright. Hit F, make that a face. So there's the eye. And then we'll add a mirror modifier for that. So up front, we need to... Oh, right, I forgot. Well, no, they should be matched up. I matched them up. So I just had the size, I had the location on the Y wrong for the second image, so I fixed it. Just make sure that the Y for both of them is 4.5. Alright, so I'm going to change this back to right and go to the right view. We're just going to move these back. I'm going to select a point here, or these 2 points, and use our proportional editing tool. Bring those back a little, and we can move them forward. Well, let's bring these back also before we do that. Just bring those back like so. Can move these down. Now we can start moving these forward. Alright, and always go back to the 3D view so that it works in all three dimensions. It's hard. It's sometimes you can be working with a background image and it looks good on the images, but when you look in it in 3D, it looks wrong. So just make sure you are keeping that in mind while you're doing this. Bring these up. I'm actually going to move these up more. That's all right. It doesn't have to match up 100%. Just get the gist of the shape. Just get the gist of it. Okay. Alrighty. And okay. So now let's do the loop for the nose. So what I do is just duplicate that, and I'm going to have a fairly thin nose. So. Well, yeah, I'll just get the. We'll actually put the loop down here where his actual nostrils will be. So I'm holding down Control and left clicking. Then I can connect those up. Control left click. There we go. And then we can move these in the center. That's the loop for the nose. And then we bring it out here. It's not going to be a realistic nose by any means, so we'll be fine. We don't have to make a realistic nose. It's an anime character, so after all. Alrighty. So next let's make the loop for the lips. So with this one we can just Shift D, duplicate that, move it down like so. Let's move this back here. Start moving the vertices in place for that. Again, be very careful to make sure that it works in all three dimensions. Just going to add a few edge loops in here and there to round out his mouth a bit more. Just a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit more. Okay. And we got the, alright, so we have the loops for the face, or the main loops for the face. And that's the edge of his mouth. It doesn't, you know, cartoon mouths. The edge doesn't really go all the way there, so we'll be fine. Just wanted to move this up a little bit. And one last loop, and we'll call this a tutorial. Just going to select this face here, Shift D to duplicate that, R to rotate it, S to scale. You guys know the drill. Just going to be moving this. This is going to be the loop for the jaw. The jaw has a loop. Goes around. Just making sure we have everything in place before we get going on the real details. So I'm just going to extrude that down this way. And then we're going to move it forward. Not that forward. If it appears that it doesn't look right in the front or side view, don't be afraid to deviate from the background image to get it to look right. These are, you know, mainly just for our reference. We have a lot of leeway when it comes to the final look of it, because it has to work in 3D space properly. Yeah, the jaw is a little off in the background images. I drew these background images myself, that's why I'm checking them. All that. Anyway. And so I usually take this loop and I extrude it all the way around like the head. So I'm going to turn off these manipulators and control click, and then there we go. Alrighty, so we have our loop set up for the beginning of our face model, and the next part we're going to go in and start filling in some of these holes here. So I'll see you then.